engineers or the technical people are allowing such things to happen, whether it's the assemblies or the Ministry of Works and Housing or one more. Sebi yashada you won't see or someone share the built environment. So I mean because me nim say we are see. So oko krubia so asem krofo kwa buchi say hofi. Utisi hwa. You will never know the unemployment rate. You never know the interest rate or inflation or whatever. Who can how the environment or the human settlements are planned and laid out.
Exactly.
And the impressive because miko kresu ehwefe. Into the built environment and how it is schemed out, very important. Idea I'm passionate about, especially with my civil engineering background,
right.
And as a built environment professional. And I'm a green person. I'm say green colors. You know, me who's will be adding in Saka be green repair, not mirror. It has to be something important. And I say, yeah, who yansani ya kucha baby asebi idria and in because trees are for life. And our ecosystem, the way I damage your ecosystem, brings me back to one of my core principles and say my political doctrine. I can say triple S, 3 S's: service, sacrifice, and selflessness. And no selflessness in it. Hear me, because sebi, dream won't say be for your benefit in Tino. Maminko 2 asasi na me container and kosiho. I mean, I look at the containers that have sprawled along the main road coming from Accra, entering the city. Now, because of that, it be a hillside near there. Timia destroyer, a hammy. And Takra this year, baby, Western region is your topper. And we should be very careful how we manage the stability of the slopes on some of these hills. So,
now a boom come here, a hotel.
Nansa
come here, and Nania in the affair.
And I mean,
yes, I want to know how
very intimate. So, how city authorities, whoever is in charge, would allow such a thing to happen. So, some of the areas should be no-go areas for any development. So, Nina boils down to planning. Say, you planning proper. Town planning, and then assistant, you say a friend of land use special authority. Ten is even a mouthful. So, it's all being town and country planning. Into secondly, Takra de one big metropolitan area. So engineering functions and the management and adding. Intermediate right now, the way I teach them cry a lot of assemblies, I don't know the thinking behind it. And I think it's not a very good thing. And hopefully, president is one area I want to take a critical look at and see how we can roll it back.
Okay.
Because you go to Accra right now, instead of AMA, which used to look at Accra holistically, and then you have 18 assemblies. But has the same thing.
Yes,
it used to be SDMA.
Yes. With Shama and
to have a holistic, because it's a road projector. You have to travel through 3-4 districts now. Until one here you now Konya district chief executive beer. Ubuni Beka say we jealous of his staff. So who them children. Ubehuno, not just say the management of projects near the United me a year.
Okay.
It is very important say
okay.
And our respect for the ecosystem, because we are part of the ecosystem. Of course. Nyamia boy say we can't mow down all our trees. Send me Kwabena me dem pese me de container kusi na me ye bibi.
Okay, I want to say I was any pedidi.
There be. Ni pedidi. But we have to think in the collective. Yes, and no say suban no bi na akopie galamsey no. Say unua ono de obekwa so makoje asase. Me tu no ma say no because menya gold na me medidi. Not the whole environment should be destroyed. Our water bodies should be destroyed. We have to have proper regulation. Na esi e kire inuanom Ghana for say. Sebi, if we are saying yesika nko. So, there's beauty in living and caring for the other person. Say yes, you dream yenua. Inti sa ade na Agyepong Ghana for say BBI materialism. And it has affected all aspects of national life. And nobody akwala with this 17, 18. As a old school mo a building a professional career. Yes, wa kukumu bi kra de koye edru anase bibi so kopesika. At that age you disika eyede. ye mu bi a ye nyini kakra say no esi etumrante ne fo. And that's why I want to use my life as an example to be the advocate for a new dawn. Say make us a new dawn, new dimension, a new direction for this country. Let's just say ye our very understanding say ye ntia say ye wo amamu ho party politics. We need a redefinition of governance and party politics. Party politics do the battery more. Amanyo, yes sir. Yeah, or mine. So the centrality of party politics is the welfare of the individual and collectively of the state, especially when more NEB. Inti seminia, we need Tima no so to have the empathy. Say me be obehwe bia, unua ba bi no gina kwan ho. Ade eso no nyina bi kra hwede. Ana se de twitwiri asin bi twapia. Ukambo mo nuru ba bi a 40 cities kra na wi e hye na se enkanwa koma mesrew me politics.
Wow.
Politics should be for, yes. Politics should be for people who are public spirited. See, Basi, you empty yourself for the good of the people of God.
And when we are tia bro,
and when I say Mobeka say ya tia bro, because you come be
so uko pie amambuo mu na bibia sesa. Yate maybe a betray when you say we have our 4-wheel drives already. We don't need any more. We brought our own 4-wheel drives. We don't need any more. But 2023 nyina na mu.
Kwame, me de me ho bebo afore na me de me ho so aye example nya se bia ensemo american ma be gina se me de me ho kire se ento aba ma me na meka me abanu makobi muda se mo kaya 2001 I was appointed the press secretary to the president, a very senior office equivalent to that of a minister. Me nyankopon ye madom e ma me bo me brad said they can as a civil engineer na me si me dan e won kran is legon in 1999 2000 ansa na Kwabena ti Kwabena no aban dan kra ka se me nkotre me se da bi.
Wow.
I would like to live in my own ka se me nko cantonments. Yes me nko rage me se no.
Wow.
I was against that kind of practice. Why would be
as press secretary now how dine out
me na team kodon bi animo hobetuma buza no otiase. I stayed in my for the first 2 years me de me ameka na kwadwuma because my adwuma as engineering consult ma to ma me ho 535i BMW. And to me feels as me left to me alone. You see, we don't go into government to become a financial burden on society. Ye kui NPP especially. Ye chechire no. Empenifo a yen ye beto wo say na bi free ha. Uhwe Stephen Craig kunom ene a friend say Penny J Addison Gladys Asman. One no those days ye meet ye BBC wo omna ye sika e de beboa. So and although NPP as a political party, na ya kan ya them since Abuzia a champion be 2 Buzia 30 years previously. And so ye timi to your party headquarters okukunwe won cry first.
Okay.
Because we are not the kakra. Me as a young civil engineer, ye could be a friend of young executive forum won cry.
Right.
Say ye pese de boa kebime min kebia memu ye nyina ye say be ko tie NPP because we believe in their ideals of liberal democracy. Yeah, Mrante, na me 29 years at the time. With him penny for to say, Dr. Say, you see where my right here woman here. No, a medical officer, Dr. Heyman, Peter McMahon, I want to be any no, I has any ban home Macau ties that time. Alan Chemating, Kujo Banredu, Albert Kandapa, Akwesio Seji, former foreign minister, Madam Cecilia Dapa, Courage Kwashiga, Kwabena Battles. You see every week. Joe Nyamenum ne or say Kwabena shake the legates. Okay,
shake the leg.
Yes. Crowd no way and for can be woman say. Young Colan, but religiously, Busumi be a baby kakra. Ne dia ko futum, ne dia ko boa party general secretary. Ajenim boating say on famwa ne juma or yen tutu ankofoka. That spirit of dedication, of sacrifice, say ye pese, udi bibi boa. And no ne obeka say atochima. And now small bison fa poster crank or tie or
no pesca. I was one car because at an expense to a kakra. As I say,
after 30 years of democracy, we have to take a look at ourselves as a people. Yes, the politicians are the ones yatu abamon some humans. And so no To be NPP, the subordinate politicians. I'm not holding brief for my colleague politicians, but I want to use myself as an example. Maybe coach na bem 5.5 years. Untiming me point is me see 9, 3, 4. Debbie, I didn't do that. I still stay in my house because Nyankopon, the way I tell me Methodist, me papa oba second Methodist and son or conference. Right. Oh, me. You have to be modest. The Nyamedia ma obi amoni so that spirit of contentment no. Nyame na de che. As you it's very important because as a country we are losing our way. Our cultural values, love for one another, and need any kasa pa. So ni nyina say because ubusan kola ni nyina and obi epibibiedi. In the Bible it says man does not live by bread alone. So them show. Inti sa I can see a missing. I want to use myself as an example. Na me hwe my brabo amabo man the way I must sacrifice the trauma that I have been through as a young person right to where I am now. Na me man kola ni hu say nya bibia na iska. You can have a full life without being rich. What's wrong with them children? Of course. Now for the last Ghana how nim dey see. And if you since 2015 I have been sidelined. Me buy me so be owo. Nyankopon hwe me. So if you are modest, na weni mrade, right? Na se o pese osum o man na wakoma mu ye fita te se me shirt ye kura me. You have pure motives for the country. Once you do that, you have that sense of fulfillment wherever you find yourself. Enti uka se scramble bi aya na ekoso party politics. Me ntiase because me kai say chairman NDC chairman bi no say no contribution, no I was what is asem. Next say uba be mu awere you go and chop. That narrative should change. It should change completely. You don't go into government to go and chop. You go into government to go and serve. Into your friend of public service, serve the public. Into a public official, say we mean engineer now assembly as works department. Na umma obi permission so unko jury assassin no fan contain and kusiwa. You should know you are not serving society. You are not serving your own values. You training you training when so okay and you said the meme call start and friend and take care. Okay. O touch it environment, o touch it tree now we masho. Abrochi mem wo do ka kra ko bodu ani bu. O ka ase no. Ye the duane san besu a ye be say charge o the bill abro. That is what we call about protecting the environment and ensuring that the built environment is schemed out. There will be a friend of planning permission. And then untidi, the obetiane building permit. Yes. An area should be declared a planned area before any development can be allowed. That is the laws of Ghana. Go back to our laws. It is the lack of enforcement of regulations, the lack of compliance. And sometimes baby I be true. Inti enra dem rehwe pa. Me nima de crop from especially Ufri Cape Kusuba. Baby I call. Wow. Why? Nyese bia major project bi obehuna container kitu bi nisio. Na yedwini. So who gave them the permission to do that? And if I become president, fortunately, if I'm privileged to become president, these are some of the things I want to roll back. I say we have to sit down with stakeholders. It doesn't take a day to achieve that, but you can set yourself a target. Nah, gradually, any pankasa. Yes, what we're trying to say, but it's destroying the environment, it's destroying other people. And yes, you alternative areas. You see, there's something called regeneration of the inner cities. Okay. So, because we are civil engineers, you do regeneration of the inner cities. There are a lot of places that we can regenerate. And now, say, urban planning, even the landscape architecture, the greenery, the foresters, the input of Omwa, they are into the green environment. They are very important.
Planners failure so failure say secondita crade ha ye ni ba bia amofra credi agro ya tons asinyi na wo kan ye see rezoning na o ma rezoning na o ma jemu enti eno na eti mo
start even Rollins time which I find very worrying because on the buy sojeni sebi obi kura na waje loan credit me board to me rezoning of Accra na ya tonton a buying property to people with political connections. And I as press secretary I was against that practice. And to me a buyer says man come order
Wow.
I hated it. I didn't like it, and I made my views very known. Maybe I say, Kwame, who you saying? When was be quiet? You don't need it. And the SH Colana wage say, Unina said the many cacre. And now, me many year omnifi. It true be her. I come in and I'm a friend. I call no one is iffy. I feel like maybe security about you say, you grow up and you realize that all that space that you want to crave for yourself, you don't even need it. Oh, and the ese yetimi kolano, the beauty of living together, the beauty of respecting the environment, the beauty of cleanliness, which also brings me to even our educational system. Me say, sa JSS hereby, many and you da ever. And if I have the opportunity one day, I will talk to O-level, A-level, because your time no. Udi be 11 years we are common transfer no free fee. Say 11 years I feel now who build our character. Madam Bam fancy him from 1974. We be two purpose and command no from 4. Na penny 4 akaka 6 form obi wa hwe na otum say odi be 20 years. So enti e massa discipline form 2 ni punish form 3 ni punish. But it toughens you as an individual. By the time I'll be from 5 crown, you are a full individual. Those days will be from 5. To me, soldier, to me, police, and become a junior officer. Until be A levels near the nature say why you're a rounded individual. If we are say any book any certificate no kwane de be ma any here. Name Idris a memorada. And fanso e be Simon nyina like unsa nails cry be and the same me nails e fu kakra ka wo ko inspection e be 2 marks e 2 marks so unya exact nkokrum nkohwepo kakra yeso ni free habem ne baiti ya de pese ko Elmina ne Cape Coast Castle ni ade. Apart from that, when you leave home that early and no payenya no 5:30, so the discipline of waking up, you say koto senior bed ntubuka koto mpansa obeto awo de yes, chuchu toilet, kopra, koyese, it builds you. And then akola betrefi, you cry 15 years, I feel not all SSS. Sebio said, ni papa will be kakra, and pakra on to that. So we are not building a generation of people who are trained and disciplined. No wonder we have a lot of discipline issues in our country.
Oh, okay.
So one of my ideals is to try and impose order and discipline in this country. If fortunately I become the president of the republic.
Order and discipline.
Yes, let people know. And there's a strong penalty regime. So at the end, you'll be held responsible for it. And you'll be punished for it.
But that is there. Oh.
It's there, but it's not been enforced. What to say? Yeah, punish you be. And I'm saying banking a year by a deep pressure by economy. So banks at tick room ha. One man mismanaging about 8 banks or so, more than that. Now we needed to use over 25 billion of minuusika hard-earned money of our taxpayers to try and save the situation. Asemwa atoye. What is say obi or central bank or more banking supervision division ya punish obi. Wati? So wati made them enti. What is say Obama central bank akoji the friend and liquidity support. Yes. Say who say bank and watch the say save jobs enti monye na mfa enye adwuma. No masa che sika ni bia ma ho. Third party transaction. Didn't you hear all that?
I heard it.
Has there been any political will to deal with these people? And many people are hygiene. So I want to bring a new style of politics and make a new dawn. Yentias say you call abem say you kosum to solve the problems of Ghana. So now me can say I have been there before. I've been press secretary to the president, had a strong and impeccable record.
You brought about the press engagements with the president.
That's right.
And now we can hardly see it. And I say, besides the Minister of Information, one can hardly see that interface.
I introduced the weekly briefings at the presidency to give the press an opportunity and also to be accountable to the Ghanaian people. Every Monday, all the representatives at the press briefing. SMB A to Z. And that's why I'm comfortable with him. Say, because I believe all leaders will be also person we penny. You should submit yourself. That's one who Brazil now don't be training penny ye busa onsem both your private and public life.
Wow.
To interrogate your record, because character is important. E ade ehun ya se ehun usu no ban. Ehun usu no ban e hwe echire ko your service in this party from 1991. Party no yambe ya nhihye no 2008 and as 2012. Yeah, no 1991. Nipa ni bi de omo kwato so ma ekoi. They sacrifice their lives to support the process of building this party. So, until we have a long history. Na me dem ogidi say aba ye kotui party for no womu tiemia womu kai say the party was built at the time of adversity. Na eniema ehu Ghana enti say no. And then Kenya say mabigina Empire FM. There was only one radio station in Ghana, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and Television. They say we are branded at that time. Na soja phone hwe eso. Nipa no so odi akonwa no so no say aba no so yentu bi ma no. Standing elections in 1992 supervised by a military government. So uni akukudro. Uni tu ho ache sunsuma. Untimi nkojina national television so akola at 29 years. We a young engineer wo Ghana Highway Authority and kase odo ho bebo afore say obey kwakojina television so become the face and the voice of the Dubois-Hene campaign in 1992. But I was able to do that because na me pese me ye bibi me de bua mi ko be kire o man say we are dedicated to the return of civilian rule in this country. So enti sa sunsum na ene everywhere obi e pe ono nko ade that spirit of individualism agripe yen enti ye bibi a ye nwini ye nua ho ana ye nwini society no no. We the political leaders have to lead that advocacy, and I want to use this platform to do that.
That would take sacrifice.
That's why my life has been full of sacrifice.
That would take sacrifice.
It's a lot of sacrifice. We have to do
because
it.
And then Crawford can say ahochi aba o memu ha no. Okra manyofo na enka womo. It's still with such opulence that they move, the four wheels and the comfort. But ankra odi ni sika ko sie sika krabia no. Eno na ne ho be kire no. Enti Crawford bisa the ruling class, the political elite, so to speak, are not going through any sacrifice.
That's why I think we should call on them to do so. And who better to do so than we ourselves, the politicians? I say, July last year, now sometimes you Ghana for no so you count. Oh yes, oh can crow ma'am. Wow, party for Ghana for na ukasasa na say one here now oh the pressure air to a minus one I say. But we are Ghanaians first. Political parties are vehicles. They are not an end in itself. A dream be any pebianya say we go into politics near for minus a cake. It is wrong, and I want to say it. I've been in government before. I did not do that. I don't like that. And when I see it, I'll call it out. All political leaders here, Obia, around you, the people around you should be able to look the president in the eye and say opening be a hand there yemfa say yen say because the nipa dey say do san otwa san na chichia sometimes na Ghana for the obroni friend enablers sycophants praise singing it has become an enterprise and industry in Ghana. People benefit from it. It is ne kwame say from here more position bo hu na fofo fra obenya don be ye odium vetting cry na okwa oni okroma hemfo be truso antoma. Yes, sir. You lose focus of assignment here. Dear man, say be ye juma ne bo man no. Nemum ye bibi man who said that bibi kra ho a esi kodie nti wo ye be bo na edi. That is wrong. Family microphone na dey pressure beto so and wan okwa wan si dan and wan say wan komu say okosi dan. Nti na I always encourage all the young people, especially TESCOM for anything for no. Build a professional career before you get into politics. Politics only comes as an add-on. Say, come and serve the public. Inti a banner say, yes, mom, say be dijuma, unim say, nye hona ukope usika. Inti the examples that they are looking at in both NDC and NPP are some very bad examples. On Kolebia say, be one school, one man jumada, a time one will be a minister, and now deputy. You be who say what in a short period of time. Wasisa ye weddings akese sisida akese. Those examples are bad examples and we cannot use them as the norm. Inti ye nyai saadi subaino intermediate as part of my platform to talk to the Ghanaian people for a reawakening of our conscience. So as an engineer, we use equipment. Yes, it's a collaboration, recalibration, because it be an springs, it be a week and more good reading.
So we need to
recalibrate our values, to reorient ourselves. Na na try be a tree can now ODB shemu boame kakra. So I say ye nya adwen sakra na call back to the basics. Eniema ehia ma omai. Menim say make say to say the obusa ni pepio na ombepe tumi dia sa na omka no. Tumi no memenya bida. Like I'm saying, I've been press secretary to Kufuor for close to 6 years, and I've tasted power. I did not abuse my office. I didn't do the kinds of things people think politicians do. I stayed in my whole house for the first 2 years. I even used my personal car. I didn't go home with any official car. So, these are things. That be the because you be ending na chief of staff. Me car back.
Okay.
I mean, I had not even taken an official. I felt, but I feel that I'm entitled to it.
Yeah, sure.
Say at least while working as press secretary for 6 years, take an official car. You free power na to you do ne asoja for be 8 come if you na me 2 cry. No so mo kofa. Na because you me pronoun fanko. Na my year repairs on cry na with my own money, but I didn't care. Life here sika enye bibia ese e my high areas. Let you no do your home. Ni endo o mine no. Say the environment is very key, the ecosystem is very key, and to build a prosperous country, we need a thinking leadership. So,
a thinking leadership.
Of course.
Does a country lack that now?
I think so. We are not thinking hard enough about the things that we do. We've got to think about things and predict the likely outcomes. Yeah, engineering, we BBR project now, you try to develop a model. In fact, when I saw build a model, no question who's saying that baby. And so that when you build it and there are inherent shortcomings, you can correct them before. And we need that. Politics now is because hey, they need a lot of talk and because a popularity contest near it is a review on someone now na uchiche sika me pese me ma delegates no mbeto abana who say 2024 election is a watershed election for this country and our party. We've had one leadership, especially in the NPP. That's Nana Akufo-Addo, the president and his deputy. By next year, there will be 16 years at the top of our ticket. And there is a crying need for a drastic shift. And to me, I believe, in all humility, I have the experience, the skill set to be able to lead the kind of new dawn that I'm talking about. Our leadership, Ghana Kwabena Agyei, to reignite and reassure the Ghanaian people and inspire them. Say ye back, say ye be ejuma amao, ye meye emaye ho. It's very important that we do that.
Yani KAA NAD nkomo. Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. Utimi hu se na adwe mo do pa. Ensamo oka ensamo a wose nyina yere kwa adwendwen mu. O say we need a thinking leadership to recalibrate this country and put it on course. 8 minutes sima watching na bono watching anesa we Empire 102.7 as well as Radio 360 90.1. Kwabena Agyei Agyepong or say emre no so the delegates of the NPP one emfa 2 million shillings no him franka no emfa the NPP no and na chese obetumi ehunu se 2 million ebesa be kita wo mo say the general elections ebe wie dura eno ho nkomo ene yedri and other matters na onso wadwenche bia se bia fabra 0577 001-027 0577 001-027. We're live on Facebook. That is Empire 102.7 FM. Empire 102.7 FM. Now, you be beside the sports questions. The sports crew want me to ask sports questions. You be now commentary. Toya sumo pa. One Professor Kumado no more and another those sides on my commentary. Nenya sem ketwa. Right. And okay, Mimbisa, in your profile, and now was a strong room in the EC 2008 for Nana Akufo-Addo Nadia de Obeng or Mampenyi or Tiakonya so say pa. Obi Bisa say Amambu a kwaso say ne botai anytime Mambu ye kwaso. Is that what it is? because abra not just all babemu amanfo ka say he says he's incorruptible ne ompini e maketa sehye de proye nkoso wona mambuo mu na de bad the recent auditor general reports and all those stuff revelations quite damning.
Kwame Malcolm and the crowd make sure and say there's no better judgment of the government of the day than the people. So come back to we need to go back to 2016. Look at the victory that we got. Now you was 63-seat majority in parliament with a million votes difference between the president and former President John Mahama. Some of them in one electoral cycle, the 33 seats disappeared. They say we are parity. In fact, now say we had to rely on the stone that was rejected for Kwabena MP to have a one-seat majority. That is the slimmest majority in this fourth republic. Nina no chere say Ghana for no mo ka bibia chere party no e ka bibia chere mampanin. Say first time no cry no we were not entirely happy with what had happened. So
yes,
into media mafemudi I would have thought said the president would have made significant changes to his government and the direction going forward. But he is the president. I cannot force those changes on him. As you said,
yes,
1998, always starting the first presidential attempt. I was the de facto campaign manager. I call around the country. Those days near 230 constituencies. If I launching a campaign, won't cry. I held his hand and said to the world, the next president of the Republic of Ghana. But those are matters in the past. In fact, as recently as 2020, was not frame.
Oh, okay.
I call around the country behind you now. And so the margin of the victory. So, I'm not going to sit here and say pass judgment. Presidents are given 4 years. They say it's less than 2 years. When I started sounding a note of caution, that was July last year. At that time, the CD was what? 7 cedis to $1. I started cautioning, say, economy, not only BB, in fact, those who are running the economy. And it became some of the headlines around. But I felt, say, as a Ghanaian, as a patriot of the party, BB so
exactly.
And I think that politics 1 week is a very long time.
Okay.
Because we mean well for him. And we want him to leave a strong legacy. It's not too late to make some drastic changes and reignite the confidence that people should have in political authority. Because they say, we share service now, and for 4 years, especially Afrobarometer service now. Said okay. A man for any feeling be said that bring Kofoko a bam say and so we the leaders of the country, we should be leading by example. We have to tighten our belt even harder. So
exactly.
And all those things that we are not seeing which worries people like us, I expect be able to take the actions that are necessary to provide as na party for no in Kwanshe, say 2024 elections, to give us an opportunity to win that third elusive victory. So I'm the mission.
Exactly.
And adding all over the world. But that is the more reason why we as political leaders, we have to cut back. And when I say cut back, where else to start than ourselves? So you use yourselves, your size of government, and cut out certain pecs. So who are Bema? Need him feel say, and I've always felt like that even when I was press secretary. Now petrol station, now top petrol yourself. Than say own top petrol, I say I buy and provide petrol now.
No coupons.
That's right.
One gets toll fuel.
Toll fuel. Toll electricity. It will make you feel more human. The traffic it's only the president and the vice who should be entitled to a motorcade. And then every person has one motorcade. Yes, sir, you are cut off from the society. Until you may be detached from what is happening. Me, when I was press secretary, I never used a motorcade. I'm easily go kwawa traffic, but me sorry and fancy training na me here intino. Me sorry make sure I get to the castles. That time kwani won castle. 8:39. Na me ho ansa na president da be do. So, into the business where in the middle of nowhere sirens are blazing all over, disturbing the traffic. It puts people off because a creative impression said we are celebrating the perks of power, but power is to serve the people. Into one way, me nani partner to try to know how say it do so better about now than a kukumoti, a better kukumoti power. Into as political leaders, we have to be sensitive to the plight of the people. Nti uo bibi kra nyani nyina na yede kire wo kan bibi say the opulence so uo skakra ye Ghana kra de enka nye suban no nye nne na esi social media bia ba eja say we celebrity bi to say wo wote ya we radio presenter na wanya osika na say wo yi a kire nkofo. It's different, but political figures should not be doing that, especially in difficult times. So say no obi anim say we ase edi into ye if you want everybody to be part to carry the burden to say the okay obi onu panimu bia wabo ne bra ne kakra ode akoto onya gidie wa abem so ode ama say bond eja enna o man coupon na ode bi atoto ni nuro ni ade enne ya hwe ye na eno it is as risk. Na just say they have a right to ask you questions. How did we get here? Enti se nipa ne bi kasa yemfa enidie any ibu ente wo mase so na enkoba ne say obi o dissenting opinion bia no I say ye ne no nya adwe enti bi de kakra meka ene de making so dem so it is important as a people and as political leaders we lead by example, we do the right things. So na Ghana fo nya gidie we mu rather than go around as I say sharing goodies no, we should be dispensing inspiration. Yesuni ebani e kasa ese party ni omanum crying. I want to tell all the delegates who are going to vote in these super delegates and the general election, the general primary, you say they should not mortgage their future. Modachi is their birthright. And the word delegate, no, English dictionary, a delegation of authority.
Okay.
Inti who represent who?
Okay.
Who represent baby our one? So the people there and you, because every polling station has a number of people who are there. Omoyimu as the 5 polling station executives. So they are no cotton chain. Now ko jisika. So onye no na ekoche seska. Na ukoto abana anye aba ebeboa omudachi. I want to expect the delegates so omuntie ensemo ayekan. Share a record in the party from 1991, the record of service, the record of sacrifice. Na yetu ye huache being selfless. No omu fantutu skills. The cow makuma no. Omu to abana mano. Nwojidi ese omu shweni nyina ye a KAA Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. Me no omu di 2 mini beshe minsem. Sem medi wo manim. Na yen dane omaino so that we can elevate the discourse in this country and propel this country into a new age. Because politics are the level of despondency in the country sometimes is frightening.
Free or
and say video be a buy. It was very viral. Papa BM said ba enya scholarship say. No or no friend said mo siga na hebio. Say be on worry broni. You know, when we get to that level, then it means that patriotism that we used to have
is gone.
Looking at our national anthem, singing it with that passion. Now you better words ne woman say. Ghana is a beautiful country, and we don't know it till we leave it. Me, in the last 3-4 years, I've been executive director of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. Even I'm here engineers I so. So me nya opportunity na me call world conventions in Australia, Melbourne in 2018, 2019 in Miami, and quite recently in Los Angeles, Anaheim, 2022. See a bombing say I'm representing Ghana and the West African Federations of Engineering Organizations. Now who's the admiration they have for the country Ghana. until we've sometimes are too hard on ourselves.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Do we have to understand, say, yes, we have shortcomings, we have issues, but we should be proud of our record.
Okay.
As a country, say, Amaya, for the last 30 years, they've had very smooth transitions. There's not been any wars or major situations in our country. The enemities and kolani be problems kakra no mo kase. Oh, enya kra ke be yeku a. Me hwe on din na say, oh, mo yam rante.
Em say wo nti bi da. Wo mo hu bi da. Curfew emre.
Curfew. Aye dem.
Paneshina ye twa mai ma.
That's right. Nti ye tire mu sa no. Say it is our duty to sound a note of caution. Near bo mo koko. Near kai won, because in a statistical survey for year housing your friends and census under 45 for they make the big majority of the population. Sani mention 40 years ago to be already 50 years ago. On kai sake if you are working. So until to one nim into yes who said the journey that Ghana has traveled it's been a difficult journey. Now also just political leaders should take us for granted, or they should forget the assignment that woman said they are here to provide solutions to our problems, not to recite the problems to our hearing. Enti media kakra meche Ghana for say omunya jide mo omunyina entin na say they've lost hope. We are brand that you can't afford to lose hope. You are being another 40-50 years to live. So
yeah, exactly.
You have to be more engaged. And then call and say many bloggers be shy. No munim say my press secretary, which is only 20 years ago.
Ghana. And no munim say my press secretary.
And when you talk to young students, say school, your history, contemporary history of Ghana is missing from our curriculum. That's something we should look at. The history of Ghana from 1950 till now. They have to be taught the history, because if you don't know where you are coming from, you lose your direction going forward. The HM the HM. The HM. So it has to be a guide to your forward march. Mistakes are here. And I make us a Ghana from revolution time. Economic recovery program.
Exactly.
ERP 1, 2,
SAP,
PAMS, so and so we are still going to the IMF for the 17th time. Let's say it's not just the policy that really matters. It's a lack of enforcement of regulation, it's a lack of management of the environment, and also putting together a strong penalty regime. I will be him say, or ye be and then politicians and now Betty, yes, it will be a more ministries or no art in the company. Not a juma, not their money. Over invoicing of projects. Adia, I say a Toma are buying 10 cities, near the are buying 50 cities. Na Kwabrane 40 dazo no much. These are things that are eating at the core of our country, and a lot of our debt is buried in graft. Into Asama woke about a friend's Auditor General's report. The misapplication of our money. So quantify the last 3 Auditor General's report. Also saying Sikaka creates 3 billion and sema. IMF and now person my wobusia. My conditions are the omunimse. Any conditions, Papa. And so I'm saying you may say conditions. Then the IMF New World Bank, I've never believed they are there for the good of the third world.
So you don't endorse
I've never liked it. And look, in life, Kwame Otihe unim sika etua ana sika odi befi.
Exactly.
And no nebe guide the way
how you spend.
That's correct. In the economy, the worst be the simplicity is what you get in the revenue and how you spend it, your expenditure. Revenue no yana and who asem can adding estimate unim se beba emma. Name they all spend it there.
You can control it.
And you can control how you spend. And I think we should never spend what we haven't earned as a country. The true baby at the abino should be upfront. Yen kind of crunch or minus a beer. And near maybe why yen timing this year. Yeah, or buying by they've touched a lot of rules, and I think it's they've overdone it. So because and near maybe at the same time. Too many hospitals at the same time. In the meantime, they have enough hospitals that maintenance and are follow into a state of disrepair. Our maintenance culture is something that I will look at very seriously. And even just cleanliness. And no, it me generate adwuma. If you allow people to have small businesses, cleaning companies, cleaning our hospitals, cleaning our streets, cleaning our environment, and on the man collide adwuma. So that on majina.
I mean, DNA are very key to you, pa. The cleanliness aspect.
Very, very important. Wow. I did hammer because when I walk around, I mean, driver me share in the communities. Not just say, I mean, any more than me can't man not see you so. Me can't in all humility. I can't say it's So we've got to stop the built environment. I'm very passionate about it because who took quite brochure. Who bet man 93 days now shoe who because baby I either paved and I say grassed.
Very true.
And also, so it didn't arrive by chance. It has to be planned. And we've got to start and know, say, we a minister, what a ministry. Let's say, you should be responsible for making some of the ministries who share almost restrooms are already. That should not be allowed to happen. And you can have cleaners who are working, who are being locked. Look hotel every hour. It's all science someone cleaner to manage a behavior. How you feel? Or better check it the last time I will clean it. Put in place measures. So, into building strong institutions in this country, making sure that the state institutions are working. And you enjoy over politicizing the public service of Ghana. So, MMDS constitution my president under Article 71, I think, to appoint the chief executives of the major organizations. That is fine because the president is the one or call Ghana for who account to the Ghanaian people every 4 years. Then so sometimes it should be a descending deputy chief executive director organizations need be a very technical in nature. Gridco, VRA, ECG, GMPC, Ghana Highway Authority, and Inti Ubuha Obi school no one wakosha wasuanya, the institutional capacity there. Inti all of a sudden near Kotam will be vicinity so. Nipano does not know the inner workings and the nuances of that area. It demotivates Nipa. So, and there's a level to which we can tamper with public institutions. And I think we should reduce the over-politicization of some of the major agencies like NADMO. NADMO and National Disaster Management. Disaster management is a very technical subject.
Of political color.
It's a very technical subject. Uko America from FEMA. Federal Emergency Management Authority.
Okay.
Quite technical people who understand what natural disasters are, who can predict and plan it, and also design facilities and infrastructure are resilient, so that when there's a torrential to say the unfortunately earthquake to revive the system and get it back on stream, no? So you can do that. It's down to planning and executing without unnecessary or unneeded political interference.
Great.
And Yamani Biwa a hammy as a country. Na minim say Nyame ya adoma na minya chance na I will contribute to its shake up.
Therefore, waso egusua interesting discussion and conversation with KAA Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. Emreno aya edien. Just before we'll let go of KAA, we free Kelvin lyrics in Katia Home. So good morning, Kwame. The man on the show is so deep in thoughts. I have loved every bit of this interview. I've grown up not to trust the words of aspirants of various positions in governance, but Kwabena Agyepong has changed my mind again. I have hope in him, and I wish he could get the nod to lead the NPP and subsequently Ghana. But I don't trust these delegates. They will go for money and give us undeserving leaders. This is Kelvin lyrics in Ketia. Ono ND no by Osebo, and so in fact, I am loving listening to engineer Kwabena Agyei Agyepong. We the delegates of NPP has to do a comprehensive comparative analysis among all those interested in leading our party. I will personally vote for him. Hashtag Agyei is the answer from Osebo inside Takrade. Paul, sports show in the next 20 minutes. Why? And to keep it locked right here on Empire 102.7 as well as Radio 360 and 90.1. Where there was to me into the sports bit. Sports connoisseurs name.
Many opportunity. It's important. I can't sit on this radio and not talk about what happened to me 2015 as General Secretary.
Exactly. I have it here. Say, what does still for the NPP looks very intact, or even more. 2014, 2015, indefinitely suspended, and you came back on the campaign trail 2020, and right now you are here wanting to lead a party that indefinitely suspended you. And records and so what is this love and what is this passion?
Records in to relieve the two key officers of a political party, which is the chairman and general secretary, of their positions for virtually nothing. Aberration a BBC a message nya me say ebinsi we party mobile. Ade a wo Ghana ha ne say. So we will be a kind of cray, what two one check, and we intimi manipulate you. Na tembiana, one way Becca say we jay, and now say, ye creating nema around you. Me to me a can say party a brand me to me watch the song to say them kind from a Dubai time. 1994, me a member of IPAC. Time a year electoral reforms nina. Na me count dimwa kotna 98 by D and another campaign him. President Kofo say man support no, but ejuma pa. Unim se media ma ekonintino. Utimi nya agide se kwabna ko strong room ne ko gina ho ne hwe medjuma ma. Media ejuma no so ma no. Ma me na me fa phone friend say Mr. Kofo, you are now elected as president of the republic that night. So you call secretary on the demand. No ma bedi press secretary or for close to 6 years. Obia ntimi ho asem bone da. Oh, your press secretary, you are privy to very serious international information and national security information. Obi antime ho asem bone da. Not a speck of dirt was put on my shirt. To rise to win the party's general secretary, and for people to sit in a room, a bomb hopo say nipa. Now it was a very low point in my life. But yanko ponti, uji nyamidi na adwempa, as I said, if you have pure motives, idea where there you'll be able, God will help you surmount that obstacle. And also na adima be jina hai. I mean, can't say because to the be an party for unity. I say me children because still I been my no. Yeah, na I say I tanta.
Empire F.
Chairman Afoko, dear Bonino, yeah, and TSC suspended. Chairman of the party. Petition the ban so. Petition no cry ama party ecotes. And our constitution is very clear on the filing of petitions. Petition no copied disciplinary committee chairman and him straight away. Mo friend no se debi ne sa na ye no nti omma na motimi arrange a national executive emergency committee meeting and so emra na wo party mu say you cannot do so without the say so of the chairman. Even if he is the subject of that meeting, he has to be the one to initiate the process. No be catch general secretary say free me, I was not in the loop until you can have a national executive committee Kwame chairman anyhow, general secretary anyhow, presidential candidate Nanado anyhow, ne vice Dr. Baumia anyhow, minority leader then Che Mensa Bonso anyhow, ne deputy Nitiwo Dominic anyhow, former president John Ejim Kufuor anyhow, woman organizer Otiko anyhow, second vice chairman Sami Krab anyhow. Kwame nti can there be a properly constituted national executive without these key people in the party? But it is this body that took that decision to suspend the chairman of the party. No, you can't do that. One, the procedures were wrong. There has not been any justification to suspend a chairman of the party who's been elected without any grave error be away. Now, me prevail on chairman say, Paul. The omaye me no munyadwe enye nenso so the party the party no. Let's try and use the internal processes of the party to seek redress until they file appeal. And or file appeal. Na nko pese obe na misre na or file appeal. And ya mesi na yemfre National Council na mbe deal with that. Timi ko hu mampani dada President Kofo. Mo ba appeal. Now even before then. And sana ya dimi so back nipa period say ya suspend at the same time. On no call in October, I went on December 10th. All that time, I was still the general secretary. Okay. And I'm cast a from saying electoral commission here program bi wo Alisa Hotel na ye reforms Saturday ye reforms bi dom say inyina parties ni hia me kona oka say obeko bi na am say yes one file appeal the same constitution says that once an appeal has been filed there's a stay of execution say the to say appeal na I determine and sana the original decision can be upheld. Intimidate, I still recognize you as chairman Tienko. Na mimi konya asem. Say, why did I take the chairman along when he has been suspended by the National Executive Committee? My rebuttal was that was not a properly convened National Executive Committee, not properly constituted, not properly convened. In any case, wasn't filing appeal. How can I deny him the fact that he's chairman Timene Nobeko? Until we have charges are and the first charge. So, and a second charge, yes, mama a waiver. General Secretary be my waivers. There be America. Say I can't waiver so party and oninto and a ma waiver. Me ko can the headlines say oninto na
the vice president.
That's right. That was the biggest waiver to waive your 5 years because you are not a party member at the time. So, and to issue a card and straight away to number 2 on the entry into the party, straight now call number 2. That is the biggest waiver. And look how young complaining because we wanted to respect the wishes of candidate Akufo-Addo. So, voter region, what demai? Now regional chairman, the railways minister, Peter Amewu. What sure letter tin the bread? He's alive. Mumusa. Say, the honor the microphone needs come between sir filing fee of 10,000. Now, do don't say why it's asking. I'm so okay. Me no judging. To remember 50% waiver. Now, especially in places like K2 North, K2 South today, a hoarding. You hear any page now so that you can whip up your support kakra or near protective vote no so. Into nipa no 4,000 crowd the bar meji. Me here money to do this to be able to shore up the support we have in the Volta region. Can this be a basis for you to be taken out of office? Guy be techima no communicators wako program or point and graphobic to as it good so. Na party cried in the corporate for medical treatment. Or buy no say on sunya bi obeko. Uniska fi no be start and I'm sure who the ebe with ma wa bro party ebe with me wave man nipa bebre including current deputy minister of health Tina Mensa. Once no say ne watch on so aye adwuma aboa ma no. Current minister MP for Efijase. Me aminu aketwa Dr. Efriye ono no mo ye afag sa
alliance for
timi so o a lot of advocacy don so abrante and na wo contest wo baby a your seat there utua 40. Na ye ko review Paul Afoko there na president Kufo Bao of course say president no gentle giant kind of kasa boko me mani anye ho there na me feel say as a former president also the sensitive kasa the ekoso no enye is against the party's constitution omunyai but back kasa chiro mo so no tactful or so mo party there the nipa na ye nyi nipa from chairman no say bibi kase bi ni wa ya omo review decision opia na regional chairman ba kwa sorry say President Abekasa cry emfa.
Wow.
And I'm say what? You United head high table. Freddie Blair was then acting. I was still general secretary. And I'm sorry, Kasa Sana, regional chairman na candia. And I just say my imagine say appeal no just say who nimfa so. Until me cry na abano minto. I abstained from the vote. Because we are na candidate Akufo-Addo so nyina so bia na je sa aka propaganda yen say no ka metimenem kram de ba yesi John Mahama na ato amame yesi Ibrahim Mahama na ato amame me am ka engineer me mabobra from 1993-94 me press secretary kra na me use me am ka kwa adwuma BMW 535i me 2007 yes 17 aspirants me na me abrante pa mojam no enso na mo 4-car convoy Land Cruiser bi na me obi 2007 me 4Runner Ford me Toyota Land Cruiser any pickup and I'm the me campaign me koran and then more identity me 2 pen am dey buy so na yet me kasa asem motum so apart from that me hear studies or electoral or university yes you as part of the package no your man a scholarship nyankopon on pebone me hear so do free chroma 2012 that time na Mahama kra nye president na me nwene ho kra se me ba ba general secretary so on the mission enti me be general secretary in 2015 obi o free chroma 2012 then e ma me package in 2015 to cover obi o call 2012 ni nyina kire se it was all calculated to destroy my political career then so nyankopon ti bibia anhame ma me wa hoden a even 2016 no kra ye kan ye beto aba no me sam mobilize ska and support several constituencies ubusa upper east 4 upper west 20 constituencies in northern region.
Personal resources.
Yes, me mobilize me name now for look.
Okay.
I'm on suspension, but minimum distress constituencies. Yanko sendi omuska. I send them a. In fact, one day na mo me bank am yeska. Na former minister of planning. I go to say beto me he was shocked. Obeto me say me transfers. Ministers bi o ho omo aban mu sisi amekasa. Omo nsaka omo sika omo frame me damase. Currently, they are ministers. At the time, I send them support. And me the party no. I see myself as a party servant. I am tembia mpese me DBB eboa. So with them shown. And me can say my manfo hu. Say all these things are omodinam say ni pasa suban na work Ghana for sometimes no. We are too happy to destroy people for nothing. And yet nipa na ye bone na mo twina so is different. But I haven't done anything. And I don't think Crab did anything or Paul did anything. I mean, we are in government, we are 7th year. We are in custody of all the intelligence material. So, it's important that me kobe bia me chire sasemu kakra. Enti after Kufrodia omu elected a new general secretary. And I'm afraid party chairman Blay say, Chairman Blay, they say me 4 years national. Enti my mandate is over. I cannot continue to be on suspension from a position that I do not occupy. Logic and common sense should. And so Oman reply me till 3 years later. I'm Sancho Ombio say, hey, I want to know my status in the party. And Sana Omo accepted, they are called national executive, I accept to say I should be recognized as a former general secretary, which means that I am a national council, I'm a national executive. It's not an important question now, can na ese bitimi metreno kakra.
Right. Well, many indications but just before then, the sports guys are on my neck. OT is Mensa and my own David. As a Mimisa, as a Anyibiara, what would you champion in sports? Once the 4 World Cup appearances, Abetwemu and Faswe PMU, no legacy project to show. Now, wow, you have passion for sports, pictures, commentary on boxing, any soul near the day. Like I said, we listened to you when you were actually doing your part-time passion.
In fact, sports assembly enemy me sano second year say me dwane free infancy film from 4 you be here kotokode hazakes e dan e chi ball Jandu Park. Wow. Share 3 goals. Oh, Hana Razak Puku from the boss, moto. That time, Kuku Dazi, Kwashinom, Ezi, Francis Ezinum, and the boy has a case. Jandu Park, we need exit to Johnny Free School. Oh, Cornwall room, your mouse suspension crying. I say, oh, until football idea, Miss Sonia and Papa to me, I'm a pen. Now, me BBC, even when we were in government, me 2 more for set, maybe I'm more fair. We lose our way. Womenti. Because you're about power. Near my Ben Kofi, President Kufo, appointed Ben Kofi. FIFA and carry.
Empire.
ena Kofi no enyi kakra after 4 years no so wabre ena president Kofo presente Nyahota Maklo Dr. Nyahota Maklo na I'm saying his second year no ne clubs ni bi so no manage hearts da nyanta wanta obi no say adwuma no kra wajai ojae no president should have been advised or appointing another person. That's what I advised. Now microphone be within the football. Oh, I don't know. Say cry the aban football says me ya aware. They be no to say you cause Zurich. Me fa phone free or caution say don't go to Zurich. FIFA is not bigger than a sovereign country Ghana. They cannot determine for us how we run our football. Name if there's confusion in our football, sometimes they will suspend you. But if we have a congress and we decide this is how we want to run, no, FIFA won't touch it. Because in the times past, we had an arrangement. And I've said we should go back to basics. If we create a football administration that is not accountable to anybody, just to itself, how do we expect results? Unfortunately, this is what happened. We've created a football administration that has become a god unto itself, accountable to none, and is a small congress of 120 people. At a time of football, the congress is only about 120 people. Controlling them is not a difficulty. So I'm with them showing. Until I say I call for World Cups. Me, I've been a member of the Black Satellites Management Committee in our time.
Okay.
I called Scotland in 1989 with the Starlets. I called Barcelona in 1992. Hiniba Charles was the chairman of the committee. We didn't take a cent. Even me ticket, me and him try. Debbie,
wow.
It was don't this you serve. Who do
and right now management members are taking 100,000 bucks and
how when football clubs are suffering, Yakobo ball, na say yenye sika, na check to individual members. Where is that morally acceptable? Where? When did it start? 96. I was also in Atlanta. Brazil na year free more say quarterfinals. I bought my own ticket. I stayed in my own hotel. We were prepared to serve our country.
You bought your own ticket?
I'm telling you, Ade, say ni pa nyame nkwa nam koye. Papa be a friend Kwabena for utwa foto pa madam for busano. Ana ohiniba Charles otiase. You can call him. On the chairman. Grusa tiase busan say ko Barcelona nye na twa ticket koya. He was a nyina na koya. Oh, enti the atmosphere has changed. Instead say sika ne de bebua grassroots football clubs na say timi bobo krana 400 cedis now you call World Cup clubs are not benefiting from the money but individuals why and we sit there and say football na encophobia no it belongs to the people of Ghana the government should intervene they should intervene and damn what the FIFA will do it's our money it's Ghana Football Association it does not belong to any private individual it should be part of this set up a sports council. Me can't say time on me normalization committee. Me share that friend Kofi Amos. Hey, they are baby amukwe many you. Let's roll back and go to the time when the people had a voice in football through the governments. Governments of the day they will not be there forever. Ebibeko. Time I know more yes I did. Me I caution them. Say and the storms in Ethiopia and now say ato ahoy. Me kai that no offense unfortunately may so rest in peace. No stadium. And I'm say mamu mfa kotoko ne has ha ye football amu mfa NDC ne NPP ha ye football ye nyina football mu ye pe football no ye nim do NDC ne do NPP ne don't worry ibi kura sa na nim say be free power 2008 e be kura dachi na e be free power na make say when the storms no you be you look like you can be a good FA chairman enti sa munya na aban no appointing ni nipa the next government ba person appointing so that the FA chairman will be responsible to the authority.